Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film, and they discuss it. Today we're talking 1994's Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, which was directed by Don Coscarelli. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Eric.
And another sequel in the bag.
It feels good. It feels good. I mean, like, it's Phantasm 3. Look at us.
I mean, honestly, I like that we're doing sequels because I want to close out some of these franchises that we started, you know? And this is an easy one because there's only 5.
It's nice to say, like, oh, I've seen every Friday the 13th. I've seen every Nightmare. I've seen this. And we've also can say, oh, yeah, I did a podcast on all of them.
Yeah, I've seen so many of the movies that we haven't covered yet. But yeah, I mean, we're getting close.
Do you know how cool it's going to be when we're like, I've seen all the Jeepers Creepers, anything you can think of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I'm enjoying doing these sequels, and especially like movies like this, where I don't think I would have ever just been like, I'm going to pop on Phantasm 3 randomly one day. And I would never suggest anybody do that unless they've seen the first 2, because otherwise this is going to be a nightmare.
Make no sense. Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Oh, God.
It barely makes sense having seen the first 2. So if you're just like, oh, what's Lord of the Dead? And you don't know it's Phantasm 3 and you put it on, you're...
All right, I now have a bet with like my wife and I are like having like a no, it's this, no, it's this. It's like, all right, you want to bet on it? It's like, all right, if I win, we have to watch Phantasm 3 and you have to pay attention. We'll put subtitles on. And I want a detailed 1-page report afterwards.
Well, I almost thought it'd be funny if we like asked Mike or something, because I know he hasn't seen the other 2, to just be like, all right, because he did that with the new Star Wars trilogy. He never saw Last Jedi, and he only saw Rise of Skywalker with us, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. So it'd be funny if we did that with this, where he's like, I've never heard of Phantasm, and he's starting with a third one. I thought that would have been funny.
Oh, we should. No, what are we doing? We have to do that. For the fourth, there's a fourth Phantasm. We have to do that.
There's 5, and the 4th one's on this wheel, so maybe we still can.
We have to do 4. We have to get someone.
All right. Well, let's jump into this one a little bit. So this one takes place immediately after the second one. So that's kind of cool. I like it because the first to second one, there's like 6 years in between, and you're just kind of like, I don't know what happened to these guys. But this one, it's like Mike, Reggie, and I guess the girlfriend who dies immediately. They're all in that hearse, and it ends the same way. Like the hearse crashes, and
This is about 6 years after the second one. Like came out.
yeah, like in real time.
Yeah, second one came out in 1988. And then this one came out in 1994. It's like, geez, like 6 years. Like, there's that big of a like, when is Phantasm 3 dropping? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, Phantasm. This is straight to video, but in the timeline of the film, like this takes place immediately after the second one.
like almost right before it ended. To be honest, too, right?
They went back and reshot it with that new actor because they got the guy that played Michael in the original Phantasm. They brought him back, so they're like, oh, let's get those shots of the original actor in this scene. So yeah, they did refilm some of the second movie.
Right. What a flex, though, too, just to be like, that's like their marketing, right? Like, we got OG Mike. You want
Yeah,
to see this? You tell me you don't want to see OG Mike. It's like, dude, and like everyone probably was like, they got the kid from the first one. This one's like, really? Kind of want to see it.
I know. Well, they did, and they bring him back, but. Dude, I mean, it starts off, yeah, the car crashes, and
They immediately kill off Alchemy or whatever her name is or whatever.
well, Alchemy and the other girl, the
Yeah,
blonde
boom.
girl. Dude, I was pissed they killed that girl because, dude, she's kind of like, in the second movie, she's like having these dreams about the tall man and Mike, and we go to her family and we meet her dad, and I was like, okay, so this girl's like a main character.
Yeah, she's like telekinesis powers or whatever.
Yeah, and like, okay, we know that Alchemy is bad from the second one. We're like, oh, okay, so she's been in and out the whole time. But that other girl, I can't remember her name now. Dude, they should not have killed her. Why did they kill her?
Could have recasted her, but yeah, maybe they just wanted to move on and be like, let's pivot.
So stupid. So they kill off like the other lead character, and I was pissed off. And then we just get this like weird scene of basically Reggie being like, "Come on, Mike, we got to get out of here." And Mike gets like attacked by the tall man again in the woods after the car crash. Reggie takes a shotgun, shoots a bunch of those little Jawa guys, and I just gotta say, this movie has got a theme going where if somebody close to you dies, you don't take 2 seconds to think about it. You just keep moving on and you don't think about it ever again. Like, both of their girlfriends died. Reggie's family died within months, and nobody thinks about it. They just keep pushing forward. It's so crazy to me.
And if you think about it too, this is like probably in the span of how many hours you think?
What from what?
The oh, from this, I mean, like the second one, the third one, like 24 hours maybe,
No, it literally.
Since Reggie's family died, you know?
Oh no, I think it's been months.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in the second one it takes a couple months for them to like get to Idaho or something. But yeah, dude, like Reggie's family within a few months has been killed. He meets this new girl, Alchemy. She gets killed. He meets Mike again. Mike's girlfriend gets killed. Then after this scene, Mike gets turned into like a ball or something. You know, I can't remember what exactly happened. Like right in the beginning, the tall man comes. He wants. Oh yeah, he's like, I'm gonna take Mike or whatever. And then Reggie's like, I got a bomb. I'll blow him to pieces. And he's like, I don't want him like that. I'll come back or whatever. So he leaves, and then he gets turned into a ball. Right?
Listen, I'm just gonna say this right now before we confuse everyone. If we could walk through the plot, it's gonna be a long podcast if we walk through the plot. It bounces around so much, but I believe Mike has balls put in him or he turns into a ball. Because that's what happened to Jody.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
So I know, I'm messing up.
No,
I'm
no,
messing
no,
up.
no. It's all over the place. So yeah. So maybe what happens is right after the car explosion, Reggie and Mike go into a house and they find Jody. And Jody's the brother of Mike from the first one, who they don't even really talk about much. And they're like, he died.
But he died, right?
Yeah, the first one, like retro, I don't know. It makes it seem like he died in a car crash, but then he got killed by the tall man. So we don't really know. But he's giving visions to Mike and Reggie about the tall man, and he can turn into a ball and fight back.
My take is the tall man did the thing where he took the like Jody died. The tall man took the brain from Jody and put it in a ball. However, Jody is like overcome the spell and he's a helpful ball.
Yeah, I mean that's as good as it's gonna get.
It's like Billy Butcherson in Hocus Pocus. He's a good zombie, you know, like he's a good ball.
He's a good, yeah. They call them, what do they call them? Sentinels in this one. So yeah, so I guess the Matrix stole this. But anyways, so yeah, so the balls, Jody is back, and he's the original actor too. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. They got the original Jody back. So Mike gets captured by the tall man, and Reggie's like, all right, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. So he takes the ball where Jody's in, and the ball tells him to go to Holtzville or something, which is a random town. So before we get into this, because this is kind of like where the movie really starts to take off, do you think that this is a countrywide phenomenon, or is this just happening in small towns in this area?
I think small towns right now, and then it's gonna pop off.
Okay. All right. So basically, it starts in Oregon. I think this whole movie takes
He's
place in
building
Oregon.
he's building an army. We learned that pretty much at the end. Like
Right.
we learned that before too. It's like what's he doing? It's like he's building an army.
Okay. So there's at least as far as we know, there's like 4 or 5 towns that this has happened to, and they're like, oh, it was from an oil spill or something, or oh, it was whatever. They always have an excuse for why the town's all fucked up, but nobody's really exploring why these towns are all ghost towns. But Reggie goes to Holtzville. He gets captured by like a gang of people basically who are just going through this town, robbing whatever's left. And they drive to this random house. I don't know why. So they put Reggie in the back of his car, drive to this random house. And this random ass house is like the Home Alone fun house. It's like a mansion that's been rigged by this kid who, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty surprised that that kid killed that woman. Like, that really shocked me.
Like with the tomahawk
Yeah.
and then he slit the throat with the other thing. Or that was the ball, right? Wait, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
There's so much that would happen. There's so much. Yeah, but he threw the tomahawk. It's like, oh my God.
He kills the woman and then stabs the other guy in the like thigh and then runs away. And I was like, yo, this kid is like Kevin McAllister if he actually committed murder.
Like Dennis the Menace, but like bad.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty. I mean, it was an interesting character, but yeah, he's got like a monkey mask on and he's running around or whatever. And then he ends up Reggie. Basically, he goes out. The balls kill these guys. He goes out. Here's Reggie, and then him and Reggie become like friends. And it's just kind of like, what is happening in this movie? Why did they bring Mike back just to take him away? Like, it was so weird.
I think they wanted to like. I mean, Mike's a lot older in this one by like how many years? Like 15 years at least, right?
Whatever 94 minus 77 or
Yeah,
78.
yeah,
Yeah.
just about. All right, 16 years about. So, yeah, they probably wanted to get that Reggie with the kid chemistry again. I don't know. That was my take.
Well, I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. But I just thought it was pretty odd for them to be like, okay, we're going to bring back the original Mike and then we're immediately going to get rid of him. And it's like, okay.
I wonder why. I mean, was it like we just like is he not a good actor? And they're like, you know what? Don't make him a main thing. Just like put him to the side, but say we got OG Mike, and like we'll get another kid.
I think he was a pretty bad actor, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I don't want to knock him. I'm usually a child actor, and this is probably his only other role. And he's probably like, don't want to do it. It's like, we'll pay you a good amount of money. It's like, all right, like what do I do? It's like most of the time you're lobotomized.
yeah. I mean, the new kid, Tim, I thought he did a pretty good job. I liked him.
And they got him right out of the Mickey Mouse Club. That kid. That kid's like a shining star.
Yeah, I liked him.
It's pretty good. Is he in anything else? I haven't looked up any of the Tim kid.
No, I didn't look him up.
I'll do that while you're talking. Go do your point.
No, but I mean, I think that the reason I asked you too is like if the entire country is affected by the tall man, and it's like is it a wasteland? Because there's a scene right after what we were just talking about where Tim and Reggie become like friends and they start driving town to town, and they let Reggie drive, or he lets Tim drive, and I'm like, wait, are there still fucking rules in this world? Like this kid's like 7 or whatever, like 10 or whatever. And he's driving that car so fast. Like that scene, I don't know. So that's why I was like, maybe there are no police. Like I don't know. What if you get pulled over? What do you be like? Well, listen, there's a tall man alien, and he killed his parents, and he stole my friend. It's just like you're breaking the law, Reggie, with a kid. How do you even explain this? The kid being there?
Yeah, it's not like an apocalyptic world right now.
Right, right.
It's just there's just like bad areas that are being looted and
Yeah.
stuff.
So he let a 10-year-old drive his car on the highway, and I'm like, okay, okay.
Hmm.
Anyways, so then Reggie and Tim go on a little adventure of their own. They go into another mausoleum. They meet these two women who, again, immediately capture Reggie, and then they get killed, or one of them gets killed. And then the other one becomes their, like, best friend. And I was like, all right. So it was weird, man. I didn't mind these new characters, but I didn't like how they replaced the ones that we knew with new ones when they already had perfectly good characters. Add
Yeah.
these people too, but keep the ones that we already have established.
Yeah, I think Reggie's the guy though.
He
Clearly
is.
he's probably like if I had to guess it with the director, he's probably like really good friends with the
Oh
director.
yeah.
I really don't know, but like he's probably like a really good person to work with on. You can just tell like, hey Reggie, can you do this? Can you say it this way? Can you do it? He seems like he just nails it every time and just I could see that actor. I don't know his name off the top of my head,
It's
but
Reggie. It's
it's right.
Reggie. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, like I could just see him being easy to work with. I really
No,
do.
I have no problem with him being the lead, but it's like the girl that you introduced in the last movie was like a huge character, and then you immediately kill her off and replace her and Mike with Tim and this new girl, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't like switching out characters that we like for new ones. It's the same thing with Friday the 13th Part 4 and 5. It's like you introduce these new characters, you kill off the ones we like, and then it like makes me not care as much.
Would you want to recast the blonde character? Because now she's older too, and Reggie, he's clearly aged as well, but he's definitely like the solid. You cannot change Reggie, you know?
No, I'm just pissed off that they literally killed that character from the second movie, and they don't
Gotta
even
let it go.
they don't
Gotta let
even.
it go.
I know, but it bothers me. And then we meet these two new characters, and then they're just thrown in randomly. But anyways, all right, let's keep moving forward.
Yeah, we'll bring it up a couple more times when Alex really upset about the blonde dying. I know she's blonde, Alex. She's
That's
blonde.
not why. I'm just mad because of the character development.
And I look. Oh wait. Kevin Connor's the kid who plays Tim. Not a lot. Pre-Hysteria 2, Walking Thunder. I don't know, 1997. And Pleasantville though, that's a big move. Reese Witherspoon,
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man. Can't go
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway, not nothing else though. He's not in much.
yeah. He doesn't have Wikipedia, but anyway. So we got Rocky, Tim, and Reggie. There are three leads, and they're going crazy, going through towns looking for things. Rocky's kind of just like, I mean, she was robbing this mausoleum. Her best friend gets murdered, and now she's like, "Fuck it, I'm along for the ride."
Can I ask you, didn't they drive away from the mausoleum, like far away, and then all of a sudden she's on the side of the road? Or am I losing my mind?
Yes, yes, you're right. She left, and then she was hitchhiking, and they picked her up. You're right.
But like, didn't it seem like they drove really far away?
I can't remember, but I think you're right. Yeah, it's very odd. It's like, why didn't she just go with him at the mausoleum?
It's like, wait, how did she get there? First of all, there's no other car or anything, and I don't know, it made no. I was like, what? That I was that,
Yeah.
and if that's my thing that like bothers me, I'm very weird. I don't know, makes no sense.
Well, let's get on to the weirdest part of the movie, which is Rocky and Reggie's relationship.
Dying laughing.
Dude, he is like, he would have got me too'd hard.
Yeah.
nowadays. He was going after her, and she just kept saying no, and he just didn't give a shit.
I texted you last night. I was like, dude, he made the kids sleep in the car. Well, first of
Jesus.
all, he went to the hotel clerks. I have two twin beds and a queen. He's like, I'll get the queen. And then he goes back. He's like, oh, they only have a queen bed. Tim, do you mind sleeping in the car? But
Jeez.
the kid, wow, what a wingman.
Oh, Tim's the man.
Wingman Tim.
But
Like,
here's the
boom.
thing, Eric. They're running from like an evil demon alien thing. Like, maybe don't think with your dick right now and think, like, hey, this kid could get fucking killed if we leave him out in the car by himself. It's just crazy. I don't know. And the guy who's running the hotel is an alcoholic. We have no idea who this guy is. He's pounding whiskey, a bottle, as he's signing the guy in. It was just, I don't know.
Ooh, also, another thing, didn't he say like a certain amount of money and it looked like he gave him like five singles? And he's like, I'm just hoping he's drunk and thinks that this is the correct amount. Like, that's what it looked like. It was bad.
Yeah, it's a bad look. And then, the kid sleeps in the car. Reggie tries to hook up with Rocky the whole time. Then she, handcuffs him or whatever. But
Tricks him.
I'm like, this is supposed to be the hero. Like, this guy's like not taking no for an answer. And I'm like, Reggie, look at yourself. You're like 40 years old. Like, come on.
There's a time and a place, it seems like, and it was like around this time. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And dude, here's the other thing. Like, if your entire family got murdered a couple months ago, and then you're immediately hooking up with another like 20 something year old, and then she gets killed the day before, and then you're trying to hook up with that, it's like, Reggie, you're a psychopath,
Yeah,
dude.
Reg is he's an animal. That
Yeah,
guy needs to be locked up, guaranteed on probation, and can't set foot near like a school.
putting kids in danger to get laid. Like, he's.
I
Anyways,
know, I know, I know. It's so bad.
all right, so moving on, moving on. So I guess like the whole thing of the movie we find out is that the tall man is building an army and he's trying to use Mike because we find out later in the movie that Mike might have been an android alien the whole time, just like what's her face,
Alchemy.
Alchemy. Yeah, she's like an android the whole time, and so is Mike. So yeah, Reggie, Rocky, and Tim they have like a final battle at the largest mausoleum in the west side of the country.
Yeah. But isn't like Jody along for the ride, but he's like a dead ball? He's like an eight ball.
Yeah, yeah, they like shake him and they tell him where to go and everything like that.
Literally, he turns into like a magic eight ball, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was cool that they had him along for the ride to like, he could direct them where to go. And yeah, that was cool. The other thing is we forgot to mention the people that capture Reggie in the beginning and they throw him into their car or whatever. They for some reason are zombies now and they're like chasing Reggie and Tina, and they're like defending the tall man. It was just like, why them? But anyway, so they're like invincible and they take a million shots and stuff like that. So many drawn out fight scenes, and then the tall man finally decides he's going to like buzz Mike's face off or whatever, and like he's gonna put his brain in a ball. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna do that to Mike. And dude, I don't know if it was just me, but the editing in that scene, I was like, he started buzzing his head. Then they show like a full fight scene in another room, and then they're like, "Where's Mike?" It's like he's in the embalming room. It's like, dude, his head is gone. Like it's been like 10 minutes.
He's been like drilling it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was not good.
And then they finally go in the room. He's like, ah, and he like barely touched him. I was like, what was happening? Why didn't you show the fight and then this? Because it makes me think like he's getting buzzed the entire fight. You know?
He should be like Jack Nicholson at the end of Cuckoo's Nest. Like he's not coming back. Like
Right, exactly. And I mean, and listen, when they're in the car scene, there's like a car chase scene, and they throw that female zombie, and she gets hit by the car.
I know.
Two cars hit, or like both, all the wheels hit her, and then
Double
she's
tap.
back at the house fighting. And then for some reason they're like, okay, well we kicked her off the banister, so she's definitely dead. It's like she got hit by two cars. I don't know. The fighting got a little drawn out. Like the
Yeah.
fighting scenes were kind of lame a little
Is
bit.
there anything you really liked?
I mean, I like the movie. Honestly, I
Yeah.
did. There's holes in it, but I like how it's a continuation of the second one. I like the road trip aspect. I like how they're just going town to town and running into events. I don't like the characters that they got rid of, and the new ones that came seemed kind of like
Mm.
useless. I guess I don't know. I liked Rocky. I think she's badass and cool, but like she
Mm.
just ends up as just like I'm out of here, and she just leaves at the end. So you're like, what was this all for?
I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of cool parts and ideas kind of scattered throughout. I actually really liked the flashbacks at the end
Which one?
when we see like that cool shot of the like the tall man walking and then looking and
Oh
going,
yeah.
boy. I mean, that just like to me, that's the coolest part because it's like, man, this has been a 15-year sequel. And imagine being like 7 at the time and then going to see it's like that's a cool like feeling, I think, for any like fan.
Speaking of flashback, what did you think when Mike has the flashback of him standing next to Reggie at the ice cream truck and he's like, cold. He doesn't like cold. And it was like, what are you talking about? That
I
part.
mean, Reggie, I mean, say what you want. I think he aged pretty well for 15
Not
years at Disney.
Reggie.
Wait,
No, no,
who?
no. Mike is the one having the
Mike,
flashback,
yeah.
and he randomly is like, wait, the tall man doesn't like cold.
Right,
Like
right, right.
that was one of his flashbacks. Was remembering that. It's like, wait, that never happened.
I don't remember that at
Yeah,
all.
and the other thing is there is like a nitrous, like whatever the tank that kills the tall man or whatever is like some freezing temperature shit. Why would that ever be in the place where the tall man is?
That's like if you're a vampire, it's like, hey, we have like 40 boxes of garlic. It's like, get it out of here. No, no,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Like, I don't want like liquid nitrogen near me. Like, what the
yeah.
hell is the tall man doing? Liquid nitrogen.
It's like not locked up. It's working actively, and they're like, okay, all we gotta do is like put him in the thing. It's like, why is that
You
even
know, it's
here?
like, wait, the one thing that could kill me, let's put it right here, but a lot of it too.
Yeah, that was like okay.
No, it'd be one thing if it was like an ice, like ice, like they make an ice bath, but like it's like no, there's liquid nitrogen right here. I know.
Yeah, so I mean, I do think it's a notch down from the second one. I think the second one's probably the best that we've seen so far.
Yeah. Was there the golden ball in the second one? I can't recall there was. I remember there was like the fluid coming out of the tall man. I don't remember the golden ball, which I thought was kind of cool.
I think there was. I don't remember.
Okay. I don't remember the golden ball. I remember being like, imagine being in the theater watching this, or it went straight to video. I forgot.
Yeah,
But
it
imagine
did.
watching this at home on your couch and being like, he's the golden ball. There's always been silver balls, but now it's a golden ball. I don't know. It's cool.
Well, I mean, now this next movie is going to be like hundreds of silver balls because, which, I mean, this looked horrible.
It's gonna get crazy.
Well, I mean, you saw it at the end of the movie. The ceiling is just like hundreds of balls, hundreds of the spheres.
Wait, so you think it's gonna be like right from that to I
I
have no idea what the
I
fourth
don't
one is.
either. I've known nothing about the fourth one, but that was probably the lamest thing in the entire movie, dude. Was that shot of the ceiling with all of those balls? I'm like, those are clearly just Christmas balls that you just put.
I
It's
know. And
like,
like
guys,
strings and like it's like put the vacuum on and like make
yeah.
the balls move. Yeah.
Some of them were moving, some
I
of them
know,
weren't. I
I
was
know,
like,
I know. I
guys.
know. It's better to just yeah, dude. But I get it. Hey, I'm gonna do my my sequel walkthrough. The first Phantasm came out March 28th, 1979. It's an hour and 29 minutes long. Its budget was 300,000. The box office, this is still insane to me. 22 million or 6.8 million, which is to me is like when you go on Wikipedia and you see that you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened to like $18 million? I don't know. To me, that's crazy. Rotten Tomato critic scores a 74, Rotten audiences 67. So people generally like the first one. And it's not bad for 1979. The second one came out 9 years later, July 8th, 1988, 888. I don't know if that was a thing. Hour and 37 minutes, so a tad longer. Budget was 3 million, up from 300,000 to 3 million, only made 7.3 million. So it's like, it made we're double, but like marketing and stuff. You're like, okay, we broke even. That's enough Phantasm. Rotten Critic 38, Rotten Audience 57. So people are like, I like this movie still. Screw the critics. Number three, this one, May 6, 1994, which is a 6 year gap from the second one and like a 15-year gap from the first one. The hour 31 minutes. Its budget is 2.5 million there's no box office because it wasn't released, but I'm sure I would like to think it made money with the VHSs and whatnot. Rotten Critics 44, Rotten Audience 43. So I feel like the third one was like a big like let's roll the dice one more time. The first one made apparently 22 million or 6 million. To me, I got to figure out why. But yeah, it's like we got OG Mike. We got OG Mike. Like we can nail this, you know?
It's like after the second one didn't really make that much money, they're like, all right, we're going straight to VHS. But the other thing was Universal kind of was like, they own the rights to it and they step back. They're like, listen, we're kind of done here. So you can do whatever you want to do. So Don Coscarelli had to raise
Yeah.
a lot of the money. And apparently, I can't remember if it's 9 or 19th, but it's either the 9 or 19th most successful straight to VHS movie of all time. So it definitely did well.
Overall, ever? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yes, yeah, of all time, of all direct to video, it was either the 9th or the 19th most successful
I'd be
straight to
happy
video.
with being the 200th.
Yeah.
That's a really good, that's impressive.
And the other thing was, so they could only get the screening in two markets. Just guess really quick. What do you think the two markets are? They're not famous markets.
Like, what do you mean, like demographic?
To get this to play in theaters, they got two areas where they could play it in theaters. Where do you think it was? Two cities.
Wherever the cities were in the movie, right?
No,
Ohio
no.
or some shit. Where?
So for some reason, it opened in May '94 in Baton Rouge and St. Louis. Don't know why.
I mean, that's so random.
Yeah, but apparently it was the number one grossing film in both of those markets for 2 straight weeks, and then it went straight to VHS in '94 in October of '94. So
Wild, wild stuff. I got a funny story too with this movie. So I was put up in a hotel with work, and I had to watch this. It was the only time I've been so busy this week. I started a new job, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it when I'm done with work in the hotel. I finished work, watched it. It was like, and I passed out. And then the next day, everyone's like, "How was your night? Like, what'd you do last night? Did you watch anything?" And I'm just like, imagine cutting to me with Smart Food and Mike and Ike's watching Phantasm 3. It's like, yeah, I watched Phantasm 3 last night, like telling my coworkers. It's like,
yeah.
cool. But no, that made me laugh. It's like, oh yeah, I saw True Detective season, the finale on. Yeah.
That's how I felt like when I watched Eight-Legged Freaks on the plane at like 4 in the morning coming back from like Florida or
Like
something.
people
And
probably thought you were like,
like,
what
what is
is
wrong with this guy?
out of all the movies in the
Yeah. At
world?
least you were alone, like you're in your room.
It
So
was it was like the quietest. Like I'm on my laptop though, it's not connected to the TV, so I'm like, it's like, what'd you do last night? Cut to me, Smart Food, Mike and Ike's,
yeah,
Phantasm 3. It's like, oh, I just watched TV and fell asleep. Like it's
yeah.
just funny to me.
It is. It's so random. It's like the most random thing in the world. Really quick before we wrap up here, why do you think? Because again, the opening credits are so sick, dude. Like Phantasm 3, like it just looks
Yeah,
great.
and the music and everything. Yeah, but what are you saying?
But why do you think? So when Phantasm 1, Phantasm 2, and then Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. Why do you think they added a subtitle, and also why Lord of the Dead?
I don't. Lord of the Dead just sounds cool as shit. But I just think like if you're a fan of Phantasm, like you're very in a niche like category. Like, I've met one the person who my coworker love him recommended this to me because like Wheel of Horse, you ever seen Phantasm? I'm like, no, you should do that one. So I'm like, you're in that group. You love this movie if you're recommending this. So I don't know. I got to talk to him and ask him more about like where does that come from? I want to know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Lord of the Dead. Because I was just thinking, like, I mean, it's not like
I don't. It's not that clever. It's not that inventive. But yeah, sure. Is that what the tall man is?
I guess, but he's been there the whole time, so it's not like there's this new guy. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, fun movie. I'm excited for the fourth one and the fifth one. So we're almost done. We got two left. So,
Absolutely.
anyways,
Yeah.
wanna spin the old wheel?
Sure. If it's Phantasm 4, I might be like, all right, let's get this one a little break in between.
I mean, we don't have a choice.
We don't have a choice. It's up to the
That'd be
wheel.
pretty funny though.
I don't know. All right. Ready? Oh shit. Oh shit. Friday the 13th, part five? Five? Yeah, five.
Yep. All right, sweet. We do have a guest. I need to double check who it is. I think it's Matt Banniver.
Oh yes. Love it.
So,
Love it. Love it. Love it.
all right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. And we'll see you all next week for Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
A new beginning.